Hi, and welcome back to our Usker Learn to Crochet series. Today we're going to learn some of the basic crochet stitches, and I'm going to start by showing you how to hold your crochet hook. You can hold it like you would a knife, or you can hold it like you would a pencil, or if you come up with another way to hold it that's comfortable for you, just go ahead and do that. The yarn, the tension with your yarn, again, come up with what's ever best for you. I usually put this end and always leave, I'm leaving quite a bit, but always leave at least probably 4 or 5 inches on your end here. I wrap it around my finger, and then these 2 knuckles are my tension. That leaves these 2 fingers and my thumb to hold on to what I'm working with. But to start, we make a loop, and then you bring that yarn down below, come in with your hook, and catch that loop. You can always pull that up to tighten it up. So then get this back where it belongs, and then you start to chain. I'm going to chain 11 stitches because I want to have 10 stitches that I'm working with. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, move your hand up to control it, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, now to start your crocheting, you usually go with single crochet, which is what we're going to start with. You skip that first chain and you come into this front loop, you come up, pick up that yarn. Now you have 2 loops on your hook. You yarn over, and it helps to turn that so it's facing down, and then bring it through. That's a single crochet. So again, you go into that loop, hook it, bring it around, and those 2 loops, you bring it through. So you just continue across doing that, 2 loops, hook it, bring it through. And this is single crochet. So hook it and bring it through. Sometimes your chain can be a little hard to deal with. It tends to curl up as you're doing it. But just continue to keep going across. You want to make sure your chain doesn't turn on you, because sometimes it'll turn like this and you start crocheting on the wrong side. And again, there's that loop. Pick it up. You have 2 on there and bring it through. And then your last chain, again, loop and bring it through. And then I just like to make sure that I count them. So count your chain, the 1 chain that you left as your first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now on the end here, we're going to chain 1, and then you're going to turn it. Now we chained 1 to bring it up so that we're level with the next row of stitches. Now, because we're doing regular crocheting, you're going to go in this little hole here, and this is a little space. It's a little hard to see on a single crochet, but if you look on the top, you can see how these are on the top. You're going to go underneath those two stitches. It'll show up better when we start doing double crocheting. But okay, so again, 2 on the hook, loop it and bring it through. And this is all you do for single crocheting. Just keep going across in that particular hole. You can see that the 2 things are on the top, the 2 stitches. And then you just keep going across. Hope my hand's not in the way. Be easier if I turn my back to you. Whoop. Now see here, I've only caught 1, so be careful for that. You want to make sure you get both of those in there. And then this can be a little difficult, picking up this last little stitch where your chain was. Just try and make sure you get it under there. It can be a little tight. And then, so that's our 2 rows of single crochet. Always make sure you have some yarn pulled out ahead, because if you don't, and this is wrapped around because I did a few practice things, but usually it pulls out from the end. So now we're going to do, well, like I was saying, if you don't, this gets a little tight on your tension. Okay. 1, whoop. Hopefully that'll show. I think my hand was in the way. Whoop. Okay, so now we're going to do a half double crochet, and so we're doing a double crochet, so we're going to chain 2 on the end, turn it, and then you wrap it around your hook, go into that same space as you did for single crochet, bring it up. Now you have 3 hooks on there, 3 loops. Hook it and bring it through all 3 loops. This is a half double crochet. 3 loops, hook it, bring it through all 3. Wrap it, insert it in that stitch, 3 loops, bring it all the way through. Wrap in the stitch, hook it, bring it through. This gives it a little height, but it's still a tighter stitch than a regular double crochet will be. When we get to doing that, you'll see the difference. And again, here's the end piece that can be a little hard with single crochet to get in there. I'm having a little bit of difficulty. There we go. Okay. And so now we're going to chain 2 here, bring it around, and now we're going to, because we're doing double crochets, and the pattern will probably tell you this, we're going to skip the first stitch. This chain is going to be our first half double. So we're wrapping it, bringing it up, 3 loops, bring it through all 3, wrap in the stitch, loop it, bring it through all 3, and this is your half double crochet. Now, because we have a 2 chain here, You can do it either way. You can try and fit it in that chain, or you can go in the space, which makes it much easier. If you like it a little more finished, you can put it in that chain to finish it off. Now I'm just going to make sure I have all the stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now, and there's 2 rows of half double crochet. So now we're going to do regular double crochet, chain 2, turn it. Now we're going to wrap it like before, skip the first stitch, go in your next one. Now we have 3 on here. We're going to hook it, come through 2, hook it, come through 2. Brings it up a little higher than the half double crochet. So again, wrap it, go in that space, and you can see those spaces a little clearer here. And then you're going to come through 2, come through 2. Wrap it, go in the space, hook it, come through 2 and 2. Wrap, go through in the space, 2 and 2. And this is your double crochet. Makes your work go a little quicker, but it's not as tightly crocheted as your single crochet or your half double crochet. And through 2 and through 2. Whoop. Gotta make sure I get that. I guess that is my last stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope, I still got 1 more to get. It's always good to count your stitches to make sure you have the right number on there. So now we have 1 row of double crochet. So again, we're going to do it again. 2 stitches, 2 chains, turn it, skip this one, wrap, come in your space, 2 and 2. Again, you can see that I'm keeping my tension here and holding as I work along, moving these fingers and thumb to keep it so that it's a good tension. And then in our last chain 2 space, and there's our 2 rows of double crochet. Now we're going to do what they call a treble or a triple crochet. And this time we will chain 3 because this is taller. Again, skip your first stitch, wrap it twice, and come into that stitch. Now you have 4 on here. So again, you're going to do 2, 2, and 2. Wrap it twice, and 2, 2, and 2. Wrap it twice, 2, 2, and 2. You wrap it twice, and you go through 2, 2, and 2. You can see how tall these are, how much they're kind of spacey in between. Makes a nice kind of lacy look. If you were doing a lacy shawl or something like that, you might use this treble crochet. Some patterns call it triple crochet, or treble. Wrap it twice, come into your space, hook it, and then 2, you do that 3 times. Wrap it into our chain 2 space, and 3 times. Then you would chain 3 here on the corner, turn it, skip the first one, and treble. You can also they also have a double treble, which would be you would wrap it 3 times on your hook and then come through these 2 stitches 4 times. Whoop, okay, I just messed up there. You can see I missed that last 2 stitches. So let's try that again. Wrap it twice, come into your stitch, and 2, 2, and 2. Wrap it twice. Some yarns they might tend to split a little bit. You want to make sure that you don't, like going in here, you might catch it so you don't get the full stitch. And make sure that you go back and do that again, because that'll show on once you're done with your finished piece. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to go in our chain 3 space. So these are 4 of the crochet stitches that you'll use quite a bit when you're crocheting. We have 2 rows of single crochet, 2 rows of half double crochet, 2 rows of double crochet, and 2 rows of treble crochet. Now I'm going to chain 1, because I'm going to show you how to decrease a stitch. So I'm going to skip the first one, and I'm going to single crochet across here for 1, 2, well, no, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm going back. I shouldn't skip that first if I'm doing a single crochet. I think I'm going to end up making it short for myself. So I'm going to go in here for the first stitch, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we are going to decrease. So I am going to go in here, pull it through. That's like I'm doing a single crochet, but I'm going to go into the next stitch as well and pull it. Now I have 3 on my hook, and I'm going to go through all 3 of them. So now I've turned 2 stitches into 1, and that's how you decrease. And then let's chain 1. Let's do that again so you can see it. And they usually tell you in the pattern how many to crochet across before you decrease. Or they may say decrease evenly across the pattern. So let's do 3, 4, and now we're going to go in here. There's a regular stitch, but we're going to go into the next space as well, and then bring it through all 3. And that's our decrease single crochet. You can decrease doing double crochet, decrease doing treble, any of those you can do the decrease. So now I'm going to increase with a single crochet. So we're going to crochet 4, we'll crochet for 4, we'll do 3 stitches, how's that? Now to increase, I'm going to do 2 single crochets in the same space. That's added an extra stitch across here. So to increase, all you do is you do 2 of the same stitch in 1 space. So let's chain and turn, and then we'll do 3, let's do 4. Now we're going to increase in this stitch. So we're going to do 1 single crochet and 2 single crochets in that same stitch. And that's 1 increase. Done. Okay, so there's, you can see where we decreased here and increased in these stitches. So now I want to show you how to do a slip stitch. It'll be the last one we'll be doing for today. Slip stitches are usually used at the end of a round. You would slip stitch into the beginning of the round when you come back around there. Sometimes if you want a really tight pattern at the end of your crocheting to finish it off, you would use a slip stitch. So for a slip stitch, you're just going to go into the space, hook that, and bring it through that one loop on your hook. So you go in, you pick it up, bring it, whoops, see how I talked about splitting? Bring it through. This is not an easy stitch to do, especially if it's tiny. Okay, so now I've got to go back. But in crocheting, this is very easy. So all you have to do is just take those stitches, pull them out, and pick up that whatever stitch you go back to, and then start again. That's why I like crocheting. I tried to learn to knit, and I just couldn't figure out how to go back. Okay, so this is a slip stitch. You pick it up, bring it through that one loop, go through the stitch, pick it up, bring it through. This is where it really helps to twist that and put that hook downward. So come into your stitch, pick it up, and bring it through that loop. Come into your stitch, wrap it, and bring it through. Wrap it, bring it through there. And as you can see, this is going to make a very fine and tight knit. And then this is my chain, which again can be difficult to get into, and bring it through. So there's our slip stitch. Let's do that one more time. You always chain and then go into, now again, I've done this kind of tightly, so it's kind of hard to get into these stitches. I should have done it a little looser, which is good advice. When you're doing a slip stitch, don't do it too tightly, because then it makes it very hard to get back into that space. So there's the space, pick it up, bring it through, and go into that space. Luckily, you don't do this on too many patterns. I started a hat that had, and I've done that. See how I picked up that little loop there? Now that's going to show. Not a lot, but so let's try that again. Go into that space, bring it out, and just come through that loop. It can be a difficult stitch to do. Again, it's not used that often, which makes it good. But I was saying I was doing a hat that the entire cuff of the hat was done in slip stitches. So this is our slip stitch, and then our very last chain here, if I can get in there. And again, because it was so tightly done, and bring that through, and then slip stitch. So there's our finished piece, and pull this out when you're done at your end, because here's your other end that you'll be weaving in on the back side of your crocheting. Here's the front one that you'll be weaving in as well. So this is our finished product for today. And we've learned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches today. So thanks for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time, and take care.